Hey guys, so our read aloud today is going to be Ruby Bridges Goes to School, My True Story by Ruby Bridges. So this is called an autobiography. And so today during our mini lesson, we're going to talk about what is an autobiography and how is it different from a biography, what we have been reading. So this is Ruby Bridges, and she is someone who has influenced our community and the way things were back in the day. She was the first African American to go to an all-white school. So let's hear about her story. So Ruby Bridges Goes to School, My True Story by Ruby Bridges. And there's a picture of her when she was a girl. Long ago, some people thought that black people and white people should not be friends. In some places, black people were not allowed to live in the same neighborhoods as white people. We want white tenants in our white community. We won't go to school with blacks. These are real pictures, real photographs. In some places, black people were not allowed to eat in the same restaurants as white people. And in some places, black children and white children could not go to the same schools. This is called segregation. The United States government said segregation is wrong. People should live where they want. People should eat where they want. Children should go to school where they want. The segregation means where they separated people by the color of their skin. My name is Ruby Bridges. In 1960, I went to kindergarten in a school for black children. I liked my school. I liked my teacher. I liked my friends. So that is her. But there was a school for white children even closer to my house than the school for black children. It was the William Frantz Elementary School. Frantz Elementary School. The government said Ruby Bridges should be allowed to go to the William Frantz School. This is a picture of the school. In 1961, I was in first grade. My mom took me to the Frantz School. Marshals came with us to make sure that we were safe. So what do you think marshals are? They went with her to make sure she was safe. So marshals are police officers. Some people did not want a black child to go to the white school. We want segregation. We don't want to integrate. So integrate means when they were mixing them in together. They stood near the school. They yelled at me to go away. Parents took their children out of the schools. I was alone with my teacher, Miss Henry. Think about how she must have felt back then. She didn't have any classmates in her class. All the other kids' parents took them out because they didn't want them to be with Ruby Bridges because of her color of her skin. I loved Miss Henry, and Miss Henry loved me. I was a very good student. I learned math. I learned how to read, but I wish the children would come back. And there's Miss Henry, her teacher. Months and months passed. Then one day, children began to come back to school. At last, I had friends to play with. I was very, very happy. Many people have read about me in newspapers and books. A famous writer, John Steinbeck, wrote about me. He wrote that I was very brave. Why do you think he called her brave? Why do you think he said that she was very brave? Probably because she was the first African American to go to school in an all-white school, and she went every day, even though no one was in her class. A First Lady, Eleanor Roosevelt, wrote a letter to me. The letter told me that I was a good American. Norman Rockwell was an artist who painted a picture of me. The painting has become very famous. So there she is. Remember, these are all photographs. It says Deputy U.S. Marshals. So those were the men who were escorting her to school. Why do you think during that time, she needed marshals to take her to school, to escort her. Escort her means that they followed her in. They walked her to where she needed to be. So why do you think they needed to escort her? Now I am grown up, I am married, I have children. One day, Miss Henry and I were both asked to be on a TV show. That was the first time we had seen each other in many years. Now we talk to each other often. So there's Miss Henry. Now black children and white children can go to the same schools. I like to visit schools and tell my story to children. I tell children that black people and white people can be friends. And most important, I tell children to be kind to each other. What a great story. So she was a brave little girl to be able to go to an all-white, be the first to go to an all-white school. And people didn't like it. People said mean things about her, but she kept going and she didn't stop going. All right, I have a few questions for you to answer.